Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Season 22 of the Simulation Football League. Welcome into the studio. I'm Mike Daggs. Alongside me in the studio tonight, Gerald Smith. Getting ready to get this season started. Gerald, you excited? You ready?
I am extremely excited. Now I finally get some airtime to show my beautiful face and my beautiful bald head that
Freshly polished?
freshly just trimmed, might I add. I got a little bit around the sides, and I actually got it trimmed tonight, so it's all good.
Sounds good. Well, the off-season is a wrap. We went through free agency, re-signing period, went through the draft. You know, that was just this past weekend. Teams are locked and loaded, ready to go. Playbooks submitted, ready to get this weekend started, get the season started. Regular season's going to take us all the way through mid-April. Playoffs will extend into May. So we've got a few months of football ahead of us, and can't wait for that to get started. 25 teams now, Gerald. We lost a couple teams this past offseason.
Yeah, a couple of teams just decided, hey, maybe this league ain't cut out for them, and decided just to straight dip out. But with the realignment that the commissioner did, I think it's going to offer a very unique brand of football this season, along with the divisional realignment. It's actually could create new rivalries.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got 5 different divisions this season: Central, East, North, Pacific, and South. Each division features 5 teams. Last season it was a little different. There was one division that only had 3 teams. Kind of made some interesting playoff scenarios, as you'll recall.
Yeah, and it's always a log jam with 6 and 6 teams and stuff like that. Hopefully, with the way this goes, we get more common games between everybody else, and that way we don't have these funky 3-hour playoff scenario shows that Mr. Irvine, I'm sure, loves.
He loves the
every
3-hour
season. So maybe with what we have, we're going to have some unique matchups, like I said, and I think it's going to be probably the most competitive season the SFL's ever seen.
Well, I hope so. I'm looking forward to getting that started. So, looking at these divisional alignments, what's the most intriguing or exciting thing for you that's changed through the division?
Well, I'm gonna start out personally on this one because my team, the Louisiana Revolution, gets moved down to the South, which is one of the most competitive divisions in the SFL.
It is.
And what we have now is, Team Dags essentially versus Team Smith for down in Louisiana, and we will win, might I add. But the 2 best teams in that division as of last season was the undefeated regular season Fort Worth Toros and the Alamo City Artillery.
Yeah, absolutely. South's always been a really tough division. Excited to welcome you into it. Unfortunately, we're going to have to serve you up with...
I really think we kicked in the door. I don't think we're welcome. We just kicked in the door and said we're coming.
Welcome to the South. Louisiana, definitely part of the South in geography and now in the league as well. So why don't we start talking about the schedule for this weekend, Gerald? We got quite a slate coming up this weekend. 12 games. I'm excited about all of these, starting with the championship winner, Florida Storm. They're going to host Charleston this evening. We'll be doing that call here just about 25 minutes. Get that one started. Later on this evening, Atlanta at Indianapolis with Chris Curtis and Alden Bleeker on the call. And at 10:30 p.m., Ramos Lynn and Rochelle Colston will call Portland, Vancouver. We'll break down those games a little bit later on this evening before we get our game started. Saturday features 4 different games. We have your Louisiana Revolution at the DC Dragons with Colin and Rick Northrup on the call. Queen City at Baltimore. Cameron Duty on play-by-play. Anybody that remembers last season, Cameron Duty was one of our newer analysts. He tried play-by-play throughout the minor league season, and he's going to be doing some play-by-play.
He did great. He did great.
Fantastic. Yeah, excited to hear him on play-by-play. He did a great job. He'll be on with Anthony Ellison for the Queen City-Baltimore game. 9 p.m. tomorrow night, San Diego at Houston with Ethan Muslin and Brandon Walters. And the matchup of the week, of course, Mexico City at Motor City, the Battle of the Cities.
The Battle of the Cities. Can the Motor beat Mexico, or can Mexico beat the Motor? That's going to be
a whole country versus a little V8 engine.
Who knows?
Viva Los Aztecs, baby. Josh Zirkle and John Warren on the call. That rounds up our Saturday slate. Sunday night, 6:30 p.m. kicks off Seattle at Los Angeles with Andy Hamilton and Mike O'Neill, a new addition to the broadcast crew this season.
Yeah, he's actually the one that made the hold the mic in your hand famous in the SFL.
Absolutely. It's where I stole the idea from. So thanks, Mike, for the idea about the mic coming from another mic.
Yeah,
that was
a whole lot of mics. Way too many mics.
You can never have too many mics. Unbelievable. So, anywho, he speaking of kicking the door in, he basically broke into the broadcast team, and I just squatters' rights. I let him stay. So, Arizona at Canton will be at 6:45. Tyler Falk, Brett Solberg on their first game of the evening. They actually have a doubleheader. 9 p.m. will be Carolina at Tulsa with Jacob Clear and Eddie Gage, followed by Jacksonville at Denver with Tyler Falk and Brett Solberg once again. Finishing up the weekend slate, the Monday Night Spectacular, Fort Worth at Alamo City with Cameron Irvine and who? Charles Doherty. Back in the booth with Cam.
Can you believe it? I remember one time that you would catch those guys in the booth together when they were practically neighbors. So
Absolutely.
It was one of the better duos. Cameron Irvine, I think, is one of the best in the business, I think, in my opinion. So, and him coupled with Charles Doherty, it's only going to bring back nostalgic memories.
Oh, absolutely. So that's our weekend slate for week one. Exciting weekend ahead of us, starting in just about 20 minutes. But why don't we break down this weekend's games a little bit more? We have Atlanta at Indianapolis, a 3-9 team at a 4-8 team. Neither one of those teams really had the season that they wanted, but break it down for us.
Yeah, actually, Indianapolis had a chance at the division if a lot of people don't remember. All they had to do was win that very last week of the season, and they couldn't do it, and they lost, so they fell out, and they would have made the playoffs with a losing record. Instead, Minnesota was able to sneak their way in after having such a losing streak. But they are coming back, and they actually brought in some people, and now they have GM Robert Cherry with the team now, who's actually brought in a whole lot of, flair and actually signed some good guys. So they lost their speedster, the fastest guy on their team, in Jay Viper. What did Robert Cherry go out and do? He signed Devin Lloyd, from the minor league, which is probably one of the fastest in the league. So yeah. I'm pretty sure quarterback Colin Pierce is going to be really, really good to see it, coupled with Jeff Banfield and all those other guys in the receiving core. So, but they also, on the defensive side, it might prove kind of tough for them because they actually lost 3 of their 4 cornerbacks this offseason. But what they did, they went out and signed Jermaine Minifield from you guys, from you guys out there to fill in the corner.
Yeah, he's a great corner. And he's going to be a great addition to that team.
So, and they actually went out and signed Rick Evans from Minnesota, the rivals. So, and that's a couple with, Ernest McCray Sr., who's actually still left there. Now he's going to be one of the starters out there in the field to do it.
Absolutely.
And they're actually going to need very, very good defensive back play considering what Atlanta's got coming. So, and, in Atlanta, on their side of it, right, and what they did, and they had a very not so good season. They went out and what they did, they said, we're going to kind of make a splash. We're going to grab another quarterback. For what reason? I don't have no idea, but they did. So they actually got a backup to Brian Donahue this season, and what they did to even bolster that even more, they signed free agent, one of the better free agent wide receivers on the market, in Kay Marion, bringing her over. They signed, free agent running back from Sioux Falls, along with the same place Kay Marion come from.
Sure did.
Jason Williams as one of their backups, right, to kind of give that traditional double-headed attack from the running back position with BDG Hollywood. And then what else did they do? They signed a guy from Seattle, one of the better offensive linemen that was out on the West Coast out of Seattle, and Ethan Kite, to help those running backs and give more passing time for the quarterback and all these wide receivers to get downfield. And you know what else they did? They got a speedster of their own. 99 type speed, top shelf stuff. It's like a Ferrari or something.
Absolutely.
Hit the gas and go. And
Bugatti,
Henry McGee. Yeah, there you go. A Bugatti. Got it. What do you do? They got their own Bugatti. And that's his nickname. Mr. Bugatti.
Mr. Bugatti.
Henry McGee coming out there. So they're going to be looking to throw the ball down the field. And one of the cornerbacks that they lost on the defensive side, switch to the defense, is they lost the Joker, Jack Napier. So what they did, they went out, got another guy from Sioux Falls, getting Nathan Barnett to fill that void. So, and that's it. And what did they do? And this is the most interesting thing I've seen for defenses across the league, the way they signed it. They don't have any defensive ends on their roster, but they have 5 linebackers. So they're going to have these linebackers taking it and rushing off the edge. And what do? To kind of anchor that stuff? They bring back Hall of Famer linebacker Aquanashan, get Grandpa off the couch, right?
Grandpa. Would you call him Grandpa to his face? Just ask.
No, it's a very large man.
No, he's humongous.
So Aquanashan, they bring Grandpa off the couch and they put him in there with all these young guys to kind of try and get them back going. And I think they got a season going on the up and up, right? So, and the last time that they actually met, right, their only meeting was in season 20, where Atlanta came away with the win in somewhat of a shootout and a 34-32 victory for Atlanta. So should be a very, very interesting game later on the night.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you look at it on the surface, a 3-9 team at a 4-8 team, you don't necessarily think that it's going to be a great matchup, but with all the retooling, restocking, reloading that they did throughout the offseason, either one's got a great chance to make a run this year, and can't wait to see that one get started.
It'll be really, really interesting. It's a clean slate for everybody this season, right? No matter how you finish that season, here you are. It's time for you to, get back at it, everything else, and the retooling that each team kind of did. I think they both have a chance to even, make a big dent in their division and make a run at it.
Couldn't agree more. Portland at Vancouver, right about 15 minutes after the Atlanta Indy game gets started. 5-7 at 7-5. It's actually each team had back-to-back seasons with that record. Portland still with a losing record. Vancouver, they made it back to the playoffs, couldn't get through the playoffs. But interesting matchup here as well.
Yeah, it is interesting because last season Portland has always played, not the last season, traditionally has always played Vancouver really tough.
Mm-hmm.
Vancouver has had 8 straight winning seasons. They have 8 straight playoff appearances, 5 straight divisional championships. So it's kind of hard to think that a team in Portland who has never had a winning record, the best they've ever been is 500, battles them so well.
Yeah.
It's crazy, but that's what you got when you got these divisional
your rivals,
playing each other, right? Yep. So they're just, and they're just straight rivals. So, and Portland, in the 2 games last season, they split them 1-1. They scored a ton of points. Both games were crazy shootouts. Those 2 teams combined in 2 games scored no less than 75 points. And one game was over, I believe it was over 100 points almost combined. So
crazy.
And that's the thing. They're just offenses everywhere, no defenses. And that's how Vancouver likes to play. It seems sometimes.
They do.
Chuck it down the field, score a ton of points.
They don't care if the other team scores. They'll just put up more than
you say, hey, look, you got to beat us. We'll attack and
you want to score 50? That's fine. We'll put up 57.
Right. So, and Portland's trying to do everything. And one interesting thing, a lot that they had gotten criticism for last season when they signed it was Scott Johnson, taking him from a running back and turn him into a wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
What did they do this season? Hey, they go out and they sign Terrell Cooper from your school.
Another great guy.
Right. So they signed him and they're like, hey, we got kind of a good mix there. We can take Scott Johnson and turn him back into a running back and see what he can do, coupling him with Ezekiel Love and seeing how
that's a backfield right there.
Yeah, and you know what they do? It was very strategically kind of thought out. Because you know what they did? They said, hey, we get these 2 studly running backs back there. We're going to sign 2 more offensive linemen. And what they have, they had 3, and now they have 2 more. They have a full offensive lineman set. Contract the guy for the running back. Yeah. So I do believe the running game for Portland could be a key to them actually maybe taking it to the next level, not only reaching 500, maybe even getting a winning record and making themselves in the playoffs. Look, and on the defensive side, they just didn't sit back and do nothing either, but they actually let their 2 defensive tackles go. Right? They're not with the team anymore, and they did draft Bubba Bruiser to come in there and fill those shoes, but he's a rookie and he's on the defensive line at tackle on his own. They still got defensive ends to kind of book in him there, but he's going to be playing the middle alone, and he's the only contracted defensive tackle in there. So they could very well struggle when it comes to maybe stopping the run or getting the pass rush.
Maybe they can take a page out of Vancouver's playbook and just score more points on offense with that running game.
Why not? If you just beat them in a submission,
doesn't matter how many points your opponent scores as long as you score more. That's why I'm not the analyst, because that's about as in depth as I get. What are the keys to victory? Well, if my team scores more than their team, we're gonna win.
Well, look, I always tell everybody, hey, the key to victory, it's very, very simple. What happens is you just have to win. Winning is very difficult to do. And on the Vancouver side, they brought in, I think, is probably, in my opinion, one of the most underrated front office acquisitions across league-wide. They brought Charles Dougherty back into the fold of the team.
Yep.
And he's general manager and assistant head coach now. And he brought a ton of talent with him.
I was going to say, a couple of homecomings this season for Vancouver.
Right. So you got him, and he brings 5 total players with him. Right. And one of the also stuff that he's able to bring back is Kendra coming back.
The other part of the
and that's
homecoming
where,
there.
Right. So, and that's where she comes in, and she had her most successful seasons in Vancouver. She tried free agency, kind of bounced around a couple of seasons, and decided to come back. And guess who she replaced?
Kendra's coming home.
Yeah, and she replaced Chris Curtis, who left to go play in Carolina. So
a deserter, if you will.
I mean, you can call him that. He's maybe he got lost. He couldn't see where he was going.
He couldn't see.
I don't know. Wherever I landed,
he got on the wrong team plane. Next thing you know, he's down there in Carolina, down in Raleigh.
And of all the people that Charles brings over with him, right, was able to sign over, and he came over with him, is he brings over Pseudo Nakai, running back, a couple, because they lost Logan Lee through free agency. He's goes down to Canton and everything else. They bring Pseudo Nakai, who is sized like a middle schooler at 5'7".
He's a wee man.
Yeah, but he plays like a man. It's going to be watched. It's literally going to be like, hey, who to let the middle schooler on the field to run around and play? But he plays like a man.
It's easy to hide behind the O-line.
Hey, maybe it'll work. And look, and they do have some stud offensive linemen here too, because guess what they do? They with the offensive linemen that they lost, and Perrin Ibarra and Mike Newtones, Charles says, well, I'll sign some guys. I'll bring in Brunter Graham, Rylan Caudill from San Diego, and then I'll draft another one in Gregory Winnell. So they're not just sitting back doing anything. He seems like he's retooling the offensive side right there and doing all he can for the guys he brought back, with Kendra coming in, for the quarterback to be able to hit her, down the field, everything else, and then bring Pseudo Nakai along with him as well. So, and then on the defensive side, it's mostly intact. They only lost Cabrin Womack. What was he do? Lost? You guessed it, another San Diego product out of San Diego Mavericks, and Bobo Caudill.
Absolutely.
So I think they're tooled and have a very successful season, especially with Charles bringing in the talent he did and bringing them from San Diego. And I think Andy Hamilton deserves all the credit for convincing Charles Dougherty to come back and signing these players, right? That's a total of 6 total players that he brought in that can make instant impacts on the team.
Absolutely. So why don't we make a couple of picks before we get into our game? We've got Atlanta at Indy. We've got Portland at Vancouver. I'll get things started. Atlanta at Indy, taking a look at the matchup, taking everything that you said into consideration. I'm going to pick Atlanta to win that game. I think that that's a team that, even though their record was 3-9 last season, it feels like it shouldn't be. Anytime Atlanta's out there, I feel like they've got a chance to win. I think they win this one tonight. We're gonna should we pick scores too? You want to pick scores?
Well,
you got the spread.
I'm gonna pick against the spread. Atlanta is a 3.5 point favorite. I'm gonna take Indy and the points.
Okay.
Because I think Indy is going to actually win it outright, straight up win it. But I just think they have enough. I know Atlanta made a whole lot of tools, changes, and everything else, but they didn't change a whole lot in Indy, right? They didn't need much of a change. It felt like toward the end of the season, they actually find their stride. And I think they actually continue that on into this season.
Give me Atlanta by 3, 24-21. That's my prediction for the final.
I don't want to give you a score. I don't know.
That's what I'm going with. Portland at Vancouver. Portland, you look at their history, never having a winning season. Vancouver, Andy Hamilton game plans better than a lot of other coaches in the league. I have a hard time thinking that Vancouver would lose this opening matchup. They lost their week 1 game last season. I don't think that they repeat that. Vancouver will get the win. I'm going to say 35-17.
Yeah, and that's a big thing, because what is Vancouver favored by 7.5 points? I would take Portland and the points. I'm going with it again, right? I don't know if they're going to win straight, but I do think they're going to play Vancouver tough. Why? Because they have traditionally played Vancouver tough. And with the way they got their running backs in order this season with Scott Johnson and Ezekiel Love and that offensive line, I think it's going to be really, really tough for Vancouver to stop. I pick Portland.
All right, there you go. There's the first ever picks from whatever this show is called. We didn't name it yet. Call it the Matt Wilson Show. We've got
Matt Wilson pregame show. How about that?
Matt Wilson pregame show. We got his jersey here, so we may as well give him a shout out. Love you, Matt. All right, we got about 5 minutes left in our show. Why don't we get down to the game of the evening, kicking off Season 22, Charleston at defending champion Florida Storm. 6-6 team against a 10-2 squad. Charleston made the playoffs. They won a playoff game. Obviously, Florida made the playoffs and won them all.
Oh yeah, and they won. And there was a formidable opponent in Florida.
Oh yeah.
Charleston had so many good things going. They were kind of up and down a while, but they're finding their stride. And what do? They actually, and it's a team led by John Lakeman, the Lake Man.
The Lake Man.
And they actually had 9 free agent signings. And J.W. Hartshorn is going to be their head coach and doing stuff like that. So they made a really good push into the playoffs, winning that one game, scraping by, getting in 6-6. The whole tiebreaker nonsense got them in, but they made the most of it, and they show what they can do. They actually can compete at this level and actually be a formidable opponent for anybody. So I don't think, that they're out of it, right? Do we think that, oh, hey, they have a chance? Everybody has a chance,
They
right?
sure do.
It's week 1. So we're just going to throw all the hat. Everybody's so hyped for week 1. So I think they're going to have a pretty good season going forward.
All right, sounds good. Florida leads this 9-game series 6-3. They last met in season 21 last season, back in week 5. That was actually a really close game, 40-37. Florida got the win in overtime.
That's what I'm saying. So,
Yeah.
and that's what we're talking about here. And look, and they have one of the traditionally best coaches across around, win a gazillion championships. You know, what they got, 4th? They won their 4th championship last season in like 6 tries. That's pretty good. I'll take a 4-2 championship run any day. I just want to get to 1.
Yeah.
Look, I want to win it, but hey, if I lose, I lose.
Yeah.
So, but look, they went 10-2 Saturday. They returned 23 players from last season. They have a total of 14 All-Stars and 2 Hall of Famers.
Well, when you win the championship, it's easy to retain your free agents, I think.
Yeah, I think so. But one of the underrated things they did, they actually bought Liam Crowder over, right, as general manager. And he was able to bring in, because they lost Doyle to free agency as their fullback. What he does, he pulls Chris Comasack, I don't know, out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Right? Because he was out of nowhere.
Out of the ether.
Yeah, maybe he's another grandpa that was just sitting around. They're like, hey, why don't you come play for us? So,
him and Aquana Shine were just sitting on the couch eating popcorn,
and then another
watching
thing,
games. They're like, all right, let's go.
So they lost in the offseason Pro Bowler, free safety, and Adrian Blaine. She gets and she moves on and she signs somewhere else. What do you get? Another Pro Bowler and Daniel Wright from Minnesota to come play for you. So I do think that Florida has the upper hand here. We're all going to find out whenever the game is, it's going to get played. But I really do think that Charleston has a chance against Florida, but they're going to have to play perfect.
So what specifically do you think they're going to have to do? I mean, obviously a big component to Florida's victories last season was Charlie the Bullet Boletsky running all over the place. You know, the league made some changes to things this offseason that could handicap Boletsky a little bit. Obviously, that would potentially play into Charleston's favor here. But what do you think? What's the one key? What does Charleston have to do to get the win over the defending
Charleston's going to have to stop the run game first and foremost. But what people don't realize, because the run game was so strong, that their passing game was as efficient as it ever been. And I said it early on in the first game we called last season, when Florida played Baltimore.
Yep.
Here we are again,
Florida.
First game of the season.
Yeah,
we're calling another Florida game. They look like vintage Florida.
They do.
If they can't stop Florida from being Florida, they're going to struggle. I think what Florida, has been really good at for Charleston, last season is the run game.
Right.
Their defense is really good at stopping the run. And if Charleston can get the run game going and be successful and also hold the Florida offense in check just a little bit, I think they have the best chance of winning. If they can get past that heavy defensive run stopping ability of Florida with their run game in Charleston, I think Charleston stands a chance.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is really anybody's ball game tonight. It's going to be an exciting one. Can't think of a better way to get the season started, Gerald, than having this Matt Wilson pregame show with you here tonight. And week 1 is 5 minutes away from getting started.
I'm thankful because, all I got to call to the broadcast meeting says, Gerald's got his wish, Mr. Cameron. Everybody saying, I appreciate it, because here I am. Look, I didn't think I was going to talk for 30 minutes. I got a lot to say. And it's only really 3 games that we dived into. I can probably talk for 3 hours if they give me the whole slate of games.
We're not going to give you a 3-hour show. That's just not going to happen.
Yeah, maybe one day.
Dreamers can dream. Listen, the game is 5 minutes from kickoff. We are going to get things started. Thank you all for joining us for this pregame show, and we will see you on the air 5 minutes out. Don't go anywhere. Good evening, everybody. Season 22 action kicks off tonight as the Florida Storm, the championship-winning Florida Storm, play host to the Charleston Predators. Good evening, everybody. I am Mike Daggs, and with me in the booth, the illustrious, freshly haircutted Gerald Smith. Keeping track of stats tonight, Ron Haynes and Caleb Giffis. You are watching the Simulation Football League, presented by APM Music. Gerald, how are you doing tonight, sir?
I'm doing fine. I got that fresh cut for a fresh SFL season.
Sounds good, man. So listen, we've got the Charleston Predators here at the I in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. The Florida Storm winning their 4th championship. They're looking to repeat. Obviously, they want to just keep on winning. What does Charleston need to do to upset them?
Well, Charleston, like I said in the pregame there, what they're going to have to do, they're going to have to end up coming through and actually being able to actually slow down Bullet Boletsky and the efficient passing of Florida. And they're also going to have to get their run game going against one of the best run defenses in the league from last season in Florida.
Absolutely. A lot of returning players from Florida returning to the team, and Charleston with a freshly stocked roster. They're down on the field ready to kick things off. Let's get down there and get this started. How's this one going to end? As Matt Wilson would say, there's only one way to find out, and that's on the field. The gold emblazoned Florida Storm will start things off on offense. Interesting uniform combination, celebrating their championship ways. They got gold helmets, gold pants, gold numbers.
Well, they do have a whole lot of gold. This is their 4th championship they're come off of.
Charleston wearing red helmets, white jerseys, white pants. And Ron Cochran getting things started for his offense. And just like that, they're going to fire one down the field and connect with Art Van DeLay, getting a first down on the first play of the season.
Yeah, and just like they kind of picked up where they were off last season with how efficient that they're able to pass the ball. And here they are on the first play, hitting championship-winning head coach, by the way, Art Van DeLay, on the very first play.
Quarterback Ron Cochran had quite an impressive season last season, ending number 1 in completion percentage. He didn't throw the ball a lot. In fact, he was last in the league in pass attempts, but the passes he did throw, he completed darn near all of them. Highest quarterback rating at 112.4 through the regular season. He'll pass for the second time, and another completion, that one connecting with the tight end. Hashtag throw it to the tight end, the legendary Ron Haynes himself.
Quite a legend for us as he mans our stat booth for most of our games. Gotta love it. But here they are. They had 2 pass plays.
Charlie Boletsky, highly featured last season, 357 carries, just shy of 1,800 yards. That's 3rd and 7th best in the league, respectively. He gets his first carry of season 22. That one goes for a short gain. 3rd down and 4 coming up.
Yeah, and here we are. And this is going to be the very first big 3rd down for Charleston right here in the game for them defensively, right? Because we already know how Florida can actually put up points and actually, do the things that they did. And I'm going to keep calling them vintage Florida because that's just what they do.
Ron will throw on 3rd down, has time, throws into double coverage. That one is complete, connected to Veridin Zarkov, the other tight end. You can never have too many. First down, Florida.
I like this pass distribution from the Hall of Famer right there, right? Hitting 2 tight ends, a wide receiver on all his pass attempts. Everything has been complete thus far.
First down and 10 in Charleston territory on their opening drive. Split backs now in the backfield. Cochran to throw. Has time. Fires from the logo. That one's nearly picked off in and out of the hands of the defender, Jack Brown, the inside linebacker.
Jack Brown, one of the youngest people I know in the SFL, but he's been here an eternity. And he's got 5 All-Star appearances under his belt, coming up with the big knockdown there.
Drafted by the Mexico City Aztecs back when he was 3 years old, I believe.
If you can walk, you can play.
3 receivers, 2 backs. for the Storm. Cochran has all day, fires up top, and no coverage. Oh, it's going the other way. Picked off, and no one's going to stop him. Adam Nold to the house, and Charleston puts points on the board. First touchdown, Predators.
And what a way to do it and turn it out and get that crowd booing right here, getting that pick six, and that was not a very good choice by the Hall of Famer. Threw it in double coverage. It wasn't a very good throwing route, but there it is. Adam Nold coming through, coming from Indy with his first season with Charleston, gets a pick six for his team to put him up at 6.
And that is how you make an impact. Hashtag make an impact. And welcome back. Adam Nold breaking the game, breaking the internet.
Yeah,
he stopped the whole world with that pick six.
I think that shake or whatever happened come all the way from Charleston down here to Fort Lauderdale.
Sent tremors right down the tectonic plate. All the people down there in Charleston cheering on their Predators as they take on the defending SFL champions. Florida will get the ball back to start their second drive at their own 28-yard line. Ron Cochran only threw a grand total of 10 interceptions all last season, counting the playoffs. And he's already got one here early on in the first quarter of the opening game.
You know something that's also interesting? Adam Nold had one pick all of last season.
Yeah.
Got it in his first attempt at a pick.
That's it.
And then he takes it for his first pick
career.
Six.
Yeah, first career pick six. So we'll get back down to the action. Ron Cochran ready to go. Once again, look at this offensive line creating that pocket for him. Ball winged downfield, incomplete, but a flag on the play. They will call defensive pass interference on Charleston. Looks like the penalty is called on Jacob Clear.
Yeah, I think Jacob Clear got in his path right there. It was coming right there.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
that
definitely pass interference. Very good call.
So there's been a few times that we don't always see eye to eye with the refs, and we've called that out during our broadcasts. Right. And you know, there's times where it's like, well, that's really kind of ticky tack. This one was not.
Jacob Clear wanted his own pick apparently.
Yeah, he was jealous.
He was trying to run through the wide receiver to get it.
Yeah, you can't do that. You can't do that, Jacob. Cochran hands this one off to Boletsky, his second carry of the season, and that one good for a gain of 6. Let's roll through the starting offense for the Florida Storm. We've already seen a bunch of them. Ron Cochran is the quarterback. Charlie the Bullet Boletsky is the halfback. Chris Komisak at fullback. The wide receivers are Stephen Bush, Caleb Giffis, Art Vandelay, and Bobby Tarantino, the 25th pick in the draft. Tight ends are Veridin Zarkov and Ron Haynes. Ball is handed off once again, this time going into the hands of Avian Kaysen, the backup halfback. That one only good for a short gain on the play. The left tackle is William Davidson, and at guard, Joseph Wade and Greg McDonaldson.
Yeah, so we're actually going to see something interesting there, right, where they had the backup come in to spell the starter. What we're going to see right here, I think Bullet Boletsky is actually back in there now.
Boletsky takes the handoff, gets the first down, and a little bit more as he surges ahead for about a gain of 5, maybe 6. First down and 10 for Florida as they keep this one going.
Yeah, and they're being efficient. They're kind of approaching a little bit different right here, right? Being able to actually, run the ball a little bit more right here, right? Keep it out of the air because, you had one mistake. Ron Cochran was not the most efficient quarterback in the league last season for no reason. So,
right.
But they're kind of taking a different approach to this drive.
Deep drop by Cochran. He dumps this one down once again to Kaysen. Good for a gain of 4. Starting defense for Charleston on the defensive line, Anthony Robertson, Dan Dash, Anthony Ellison, and Forrest Dalton. At linebacker, Mo John Tana
along with Jack Brown. Geno McFly and Khalil Thomas will get to the secondary after this. 2nd down and 6. As Cochran sends Zarkov in motion up to the top. I formation again, Kaysen in the backfield. Oh, no, excuse me, that is Beletsky back out in the backfield. He gains 3, setting up a 3rd down and 3. The secondary for Charleston is made up of Mark Martin, Adam Nold, who you already saw, Corey Menner, and at safety, Matt Ryan, Sam Blotner, Jacob Clear, and John Stamango. 3rd down and 3, offset I. Cochran to throw on 3rd and 3. Oh, deep down the left side, and he connects with Stephen Bush for a big 1st down inside the red zone. 1st down, Florida.
Yeah, it seemed like for a little bit that they were kind of staying away from the right side of that defense, from throwing the ball, because they actually had Adam Nold pick a ball off. But here they are. They was able to find space. Cochran just drops it right over the linebacker's head, right up underneath the safety, and they're right outside the 10-yard line.
First down and 10. Halfway through quarter number 1. Cochran to throw. Rolls out to the right. Pressure on his way. Fires. End zone. Touchdown, Florida.
What a way to come back and actually show you what you got by throwing a pass to Caleb Giffords in the back of the end zone for the champions' first touchdown of the season. And he was wide open. He split the safeties right there. It was nothing but pitch and catch way for Caleb Giffords to be able to keep his feet in bounds.
Caleb Giffords, one of the least used receivers by the Florida Storm last season. He only had 4 receptions all regular season long. He added a pair of those on in the playoffs. So 6 total catches, no touchdowns. And this time he gets the touchdown on the 2nd drive from Florida, his first career touchdown. And with that extra point, Florida's got things all tied up. If you're new to the Simulation Football League, welcome. The SFL is football for everyone. Get off the sideline and start your player today by joining our Discord server at simulationfl.net. Click the Join the Community button and begin your career, or just to meet the stars of the SFL on and off the field. It's never too late to get involved. Kick goes about 7 yards deep into the end zone, and he will take a knee. Honus Odabe kneeling that one down. Predators had 1 defensive touchdown last season. It was Mark Martin, and within 3 minutes of the first quarter of the first game of season 22, they've got a defensive touchdown.
Definitely. And I'd like to give a shout out and actually congratulations to Caleb Gifford for his first career touchdown.
Absolutely.
First game of the season, of his 2nd season, getting himself a nice little tutty, as they call it.
Tutty for the Florida. John Lakeman in at quarterback for the Charleston Predators. Is going to hand that one off to Saren Storm. Let's roll through the starting offense now that they finally get a chance to come on the field for the first time this season, more than halfway through the first quarter. John Lakeman is the quarterback. Saren Storm and Nick Hoagland are the halfbacks. Terrell Sutherland and Brad Taylor Wright are the fullbacks. Honus Odabe, Ian Francis, Breddington James, Davius Reed, and Benjamin Warner are the wide receivers. Leon Sandcastle and Xavier Solomon are the tight ends. At offensive line, DeBrickashaw Mullinex and Perrin Ibarra are the tackles. Leroy James and Finley James are the guards, and St. Nebuchadnezzar is the center. 3rd down and 3.
Yep. And they threw it to the tight end, Xavier Solomon.
It's the way to do it. Short drop by the Lake Band. Does a little shuffle and throws a pick. One good pick deserves another, I suppose. Jesus Smith, the outside linebacker for Florida, takes that one away for the Storm.
Jesus Smith just got himself right in the throwing lane right there. And when you have one of the best names ever in Smith, it just says greatness on it, I think.
It's divine intervention, perhaps.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm talking about. It's got a couple of things going for it. The whole name.
the
whole
name.
All good. But look, he's got his team the ball back, and now they actually leveled the field as far as turnover goes, and they're actually in field goal range right now.
2nd interception on his career. He did not have one last season. Gets that one now, and Charlie the Bullet Boletsky looks like he's got some wheels moving now. Gained 7 on that carry. Second down and 3.
Yeah, and that was it. Look, and Florida, this is how Florida expected to start the game. To be able to go down on their drive, be able to get some points, and then they actually forced a turnover right there by getting, their young, talented linebacker and Jesus Smith in his second season kind of picking the ball off and getting themselves right in this position that they are now.
Boletsky just barely gets first down yardage. Charleston may take a look at that spot. What a beautiful shirt.
I don't know. I think Mr. Greg Soto kind of set the bar. I think we're going to see some interesting shirts. I think you're going to see some beautifully dressed coaches on the sideline this season.
You might. Joey Ramos-Lynn has but one shirt and one hat, so he'll just be wearing the one all season. But other coaches might play dress up. Not Ramos. Second down and 1 after a short gain pass complete to Ron Haynes.
Well, you're in Florida. You can't help but wear that type of shirt down in Florida.
Nice loose.
Now, I don't know what you guys would wear down in Mexico.
Yeah. It's whatever you find.
Yeah, whatever you find.
Yeah. Offset I formation.
This looks good.
Ponchos. Boletsky tries to get to the outside. Hit in the backfield and tackled for a loss. Jack Brown finishes him off. And it's a 1-yard tackle for a loss.
Khalil Thomas started that right there by actually hitting him in the backfield, getting him off balance. And then the 5-time All-Star, Jack Brown, comes in there and cleans it up.
Third down and 2.
The blocking.
Beautiful gaping hole for Avian Kaysen to get through. Sets up a first down and goal for the Storm.
And if you look at it right there, who had that ceiling side right there is this one of the most impactful signees that I didn't get to touch on in our pregame show is William Davidson coming on there, sealing that edge to allow Kaysen to actually run for the first down. And that's another product that Liam Crowder brought over when he became the GM.
Cochran, short drop. Drops a little further, rolls out left, looking, firing, end zone into double coverage. Tipped and incomplete. In the pregame show, out of the 25 minutes, I think you had 20 of them. That was not enough time for you.
No, I need more. I need more.
Hour-long pregame show.
I'm telling you, I can go and dive and break down every game, man. And
listen, if we're going to have an hour-long pregame show, I'm going to need a stool.
I got us.
You're going to get
no, we need SFL emblazoned stools.
Mr.
Irvine.
You wouldn't be able to see
Mr. Irvine.
Boletsky takes the handoff. Third down and goal coming up. Short gain. You wouldn't even be able to see the logo if we were sitting on it.
You know what we really need? We really need the same glow as in the headquarters.
We've got a Matt Wilson jersey.
No, but that can be all to the side. Maybe it's secondary to Matt Wilson.
Should get some lights.
There you go. LED
in the
lights.
shadow box. Anyway, back to the game. Third down and goal from the 2.5.
Boletsky's there.
5 down lineman. Cochran to throw. Quick pass. End zone. And it's broken up.
Very, very good coverage right there by that secondary. Coming in there, holding tight right there. The safety came over, got his hand up, threw the concentration off of Zarkov. And now it looks like they're going to force a field goal attempt.
So bend but don't break. When you making a mistake and you throw an interception, it's good for the defense to be able to get that stop. As you see the third down efficiency for the teams on the screen. Their first third down that was not converted. Field goal by Ethan Sneed is up, and it is good. Florida takes the lead for the first time in the ball game. 10-7 over Charleston.
I don't know what happened there, but Ethan Sneed put a little bit of English on it, and I looked at the holder kind of holding it down there. He had the laces in. I don't know if that matters. Is the laces were in. Ethan Sneed said, "Don't worry about it, bruh. I got it."
All right, Ray Fingal. So, not a lot of action out of the Charleston offense yet. They've only had 3 offensive plays as we tick away the final couple minutes of quarter number 1. John Lakeman going to have to get back down into it. There you see the comparison of the team stats, Gerald. 108 yards to 17 yards.
That's not so good. But, hey, the defense stepped up and gave him some points.
Yeah,
So
I mean, that's 3 drives to 1 drive, right? Lakeman rolls out to his right. Excuse me, his left throws back to the right.
No, what's
Gets the
going on?
completion, and breaking tackles is Benjamin Warner. He gets all the way up to the 40-yard line. A 20-yard gain on the play.
Yeah, Benjamin Warner, right? The former tight end out of Portland, but this is his second season over here in Charleston and made the playoffs last season with this team and making one-hand catches and looking like he wants to take his team to another playoff berth.
I would imagine that he does.
Look, and I don't know if anybody even realized it, but do you realize who the most efficient quarterback in the playoff was last season?
Who's that?
The Lake Man.
The Lake Man. Rolled out right through to the left this time. That one is incomplete. Tried to connect with Davius Reed. It'll be a second down and 10. John Lakeman through the playoffs. 31 of 44, had 434 yards. Completion percentage of 70.5. Threw 4 touchdowns. That was second best in the playoffs. Only 1 interception. A 122.7 quarterback rating. And Benjamin Warner led the team in receptions throughout the playoffs. 13 catches, 174 yards, and a touchdown. Got a big 22-yard catch moments ago. Third down and 7 now after a 3-yard gain by Nick Hoagland.
Yeah, so look, if Charleston's going to throw the ball and they can, keep the Lake Man as efficient as he was in the playoffs, right, going this season, those guys are going to have a pretty successful season going forward, right? As long as they stay, pretty efficient like they were in the playoffs.
Only 2 rushing plays so far by the Predators. 4 wide receivers on the field for this third down and 7. Trips down to the bottom. Lone receiver up top. Lakeman, 5-step drop. Steps up, throws over the middle, and a nice catch by Honus Odabe. First down, Charleston.
What a throw and what a catch right there. John Lakeman throws it up high where only his guy can get it, and Odabe goes up with both hands, jumps up and grabs it right there in stride. And now they're approaching field goal range.
Front 7 for the Florida Storm defense. Deontay Stoneville, Alessandro Tomaello, Alex Dominguez, big sexy himself. Pete Mitchell, that's your defensive line. Ryan Tobin, Jesus Smith, and Juan Mississippi are the linebackers. That is our first quarter of action in the books. Florida out in front, 10-7 over the Charleston Predators. You are watching the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music on YouTube. Week 1 SFL action here in Season 22. Mike Daggs alongside Gerald Smith. Excited to get this one started with you, Gerald. Lakeman back to throw. Goes up top. Oh, and it's complete. Davius Reed with the catch. I thought that Florida defender was in great position, Gerald, but just threaded the needle by him.
If you watch Davius Reed, he's it's his veteran presence, his 13th season veteran. Just right there. He's waiting to the very last moment to put his hands up and act like he's going to catch the ball because I don't think the defenders saw it. Because what happens a lot of times,
coming.
Right, what happens with like a lot of defenders, they actually wait to see the receiver react before they react. And he reacted at their last second, didn't know it was coming, went right over his head, and now they have first and goal.
24-yard completion on that last play with Davius Reed. The Lakeman rolls out right, pressure right in his face, throws end zone. That one's incomplete. Was trying to connect with Reed again, and Davidson in coverage was not having a. Let's roll through the secondary for Florida. You just saw Ryan Davidson. He's joined by Evan Carroll and Adam Jones at corner. Big O Renfro is the free safety along with Daniel Wright. At strong safety, Andrew Francis and J.J. Bailey. Lakeman puts Reed in motion down to the bottom. Second down and goal from the 9.
The blitz.
Lakeman, 3-step drop. And it is swatted down. Ryan Tobin got his big mitts up. Third down.
All these grandpas on the field, the 13th season vet blitzes. Look, and he knows, hey, look, I see the Lakeman rearing back to throw. Let me get my hands up and try and knock it down. And he's able to do it. How is Ryan Tobin through 13th season has not had an all-star berth? Have no idea.
A travesty of justice.
It's like Eddie Gage not getting a pick 6.
That does happen. Lakeman throws. Oh! End zone picked. Adam Jones picks it off in the end zone, and Charleston will come away with no points.
Adam Jones, and I think it was just I think John Lakeman thought he had a look that he really didn't, because he threw it right there, and you have a guy right there and just two people right there, didn't put enough air in it. Should have probably tried to throw it more toward the corner where only his guy had an opportunity, but he didn't. Threw a little bit flat, and now Florida's got the ball back, going the other direction.
Florida spreading it around on offense. 5 different players with a reception so far. Caleb Giffis, Stephen Bush, Art Vandelay, Ron Haynes, and Veridin Zarkov, all with receptions. Cochran, Mr. Efficient, this time bounces it off the helmet of his intended target. Second down.
That typically doesn't happen to the great Ron Haynes right there.
He forgot to put his hands up, as it were.
I don't know, come off his shoulder or something. Or maybe he saw the guy in front of him. He's like, no, man, I need these hands for stats, so I'm not going to catch it. I need these hands to do the stats.
3 wide receiver set for the Storm. Cochran throws right into coverage once again. What is Cochran seeing here? Tried to connect with Vandelay. Both of these last 2 passes, very tight coverage.
Yeah, and it was I don't know, like the defender just played the guy and actually hit the defender in the back. So that was an extremely interesting pass right there. But here's a chance for Charleston to kind of, get the ball back if they're able to force a punt right here.
Play action for the Storm. Cochran throws over the middle, and that one is incomplete. I thought he would have him that time. Gerald Caleb Giffis, his target, but the pass was broken up by Jacob Clear. And that's going to be a quick 3 and out. So once again, the Charleston defense does what they have to do to make up for the mistakes on offense.
Yeah, the Charleston offense has got to be. The Charleston offense had 2 possessions with 2 turnovers.
2 picks,
I mean, you got to be able to put a possession and drive together. And you look at that right here, what Charleston is doing with the average yards per play. They're doubling what Florida is doing, so they're able to move the ball.
They are.
They just have to not turn the ball over.
Well, let's see what they do on this drive. They'll start from their own 39-yard line. Plenty of time left here in the first half. Are you liking the game so far? Did you like the Matt Wilson pregame show? Smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. The SFL produces over 400 events a year. There is nobody else that gives you more football. Don't miss a minute of SFL or SFLM action, and help the channel grow through your support. Lakeman throws over the middle. It's caught, then fumbled and recovered by Florida. But Gerald, I think that was a pretty quick bang play. I'm not sure that one's going to stand.
I would look. I would have thrown the red flag out already. I would give it no time. I mean, don't even have to look at it. I think it was bang.
I'd throw every color flag I had.
Yep. With authority. Look at Jacob Clear. With authority.
Spike it.
And he's pointing and yelling. I don't know who he's yelling at. You should have held on to it.
Yeah, I'm not sure. He's just an angry man.
Or maybe he's just mad because I have to waste a challenge.
Yeah, on what should have been an obvious
call. Should have been an incomplete pass call.
Or perhaps it could be spider season in Australia. I'm sure that's enough to make anybody mad.
Wait, is there a season for spiders?
Yeah, that's the thing. In Australia, there's a spider season. In any case, they took a retroactive look at it, presented by Retroid. Get your SFL console at GoRetroid.com. The ruling on the field is overturned. Charleston is not charged a timeout. It is indeed an incomplete pass. Yeah, I've always wanted to visit Australia until I found out they have a spider season, and I no longer am going to take any chances. I'll stay far away.
How big are these spiders? Like big as my
the size
face?
Of cats. And they make webs that cover everything. Oh, they're huge.
Why wouldn't they just exterminate it?
It's too many. There was a whole, they had a war against an animal. I can't remember what one it was, and humans actually lost. Anyway, Lakeman throws that one right into the hands of a defender. Juan, Mississippi, picking that one off. 3 drives, 3 picks. This Florida defense is on fire.
It wasn't. I don't even know. Whoa, he made a good play.
Ooh.
Well, look, I think Benjamin Warner didn't help out his quarterback on that one because he stopped on that route, right? As when your quarterback throws, you got to keep moving back to the ball. Don't wait for it to come to you, especially on a stop route. You got to be able to go toward the ball, go back towards your quarterback to grab that ball while Mississippi took his opportunity. And now here they are. They got the ball again. 3 drives for Charleston, 3 turnovers.
Ron Cochran hands this one off, a delayed handoff to Charlie Beletsky. A 6-yard carry, 2nd down and 4. John Lakeman, you see his stats so far, Gerald. That's not the way that he wanted to get this season started.
No, and that's not the way to bring back his playoff, actually, efficiency, with those numbers right there. He's got to be, that one, I won't totally blame it on him. His wide receivers got to help him out, got to come back to the ball. Don't sit and wait on it. But, yeah, that's definitely not how you want to start a season.
Stephen Bush motions down to the bottom, and that one is pitched down. Kason once again, that time tackled for a 4-yard loss. Jack Brown once again. Well-read play and gets him in the backfield.
Yeah, and Jack Brown showing why he's got 5 All-Stars to his name, the play recognition he got, to come in there and be able to get him for a tackle for loss, to force this 3rd and long right here. And here's an opportunity for them to come away, hopefully, with a punt and not allow him to get any points.
Cochran throws, and that one's tipped and incomplete. Threw it into at least triple coverage, if not quadruple. And once again, 3 drives, 3 takeaways, but only 3 points to show for it.
Yeah, and that's really, really good by the Charleston defense, right? Being able to do that. Jacob Clear, right? Like I said, they pulled Jacob Clear off the couch, and he comes in and is making some pretty good plays right there after his very first, attempt to stop something.
Yeah, a little mistake was made there.
Yeah, and then he's just putting up some plays right now.
Look at this
that's
punt.
Not bad.
Marcus Agrippa with darn near 5 seconds of hang time. And then the ball just casually rolls down to about the 7-yard line.
Well, I don't question a guy who's been in the league for his 9th season.
Yeah.
He's not eligible right now for
Right.
an All-Star, but his 8 previous seasons, every single he's been in the league, he's been a darn All-Star.
Yeah.
I'm never questioning that guy.
No.
If he wants to punt it 5 yards and let it roll for 60, go ahead.
You do you, Marcus. So Charleston trying to get something going here offensively. Their 7 points are thanks to an Adam Nold pick 6. No offensive points yet so far. 2-yard gain by Saren Storm. See the comparison of stats.
They're not far off from one another right now, right? It looks like it should be kind of lopsided given the turnover, but it's not.
The Lake Band throws over the middle, and that one is incomplete. Was trying to hit Xavier Solomon, who's unable to come away with it. Solomon coming over in free agency from the Carolina Skyhawks, joining this Charleston roster, unable to make a play there.
Evan Carroll, the 15-year vet, coming in there and knocking the ball out, right? Did timely, wait to get his hands on it, knock the ball out. And this 3rd and long, Charleston has deep in their own territory, inside their own 10.
Oh, blitz on its way. Lakeman responds and almost throws another interception. Andrew Francis nearly came away with that one, Gerald, but it falls harmlessly to the turf. And Eric Blueberry will be on for his first punt of the ball game.
That was a perfectly covered blitz. They blitzed a ton of people, Florida did on that one. Got pressure and had tight coverage on the receivers. You can't ask for anything more from a defense whenever you blitz other than that.
Blueberry
Great defensive play.
Punts this one away. Taking it their own 45-yard line. A great return by Bobby Tarantino. The rookie getting it into Charleston territory, about 8 yards on that return. The 25th pick in this past offseason's draft. There's a couple of rookies on both sides, Gerald. 2 for Florida who were acquired in the draft. Tarantino with pick number 25, and Big O Renfro, the free safety, taken with pick number 63. On the Charleston side, no players added on from the draft, but a couple undrafted free agents, Bredington James and Anthony Ellison, a wide receiver and defensive tackle, respectively. on that squad. Delayed handoff once again to Beletsky. This time he gets bottled up. No gain on the play. And Gerald, we talked about it a little bit in our pregame show. How would Charlie Beletsky respond this season compared to last season? Running all over the place. So far, 9 rushing attempts for 30 yards.
Yeah, and it's actually shown right here how Charleston is also kind of prepped for that, right? He's getting just over 3 yards a carry, but it's minimal gain compared to what Beletsky had last season. Oh,
Cochran forced to throw it again. Yeah, Brown's been all over the field. Absolute stud on this defense, making plays left and right, and gets the pass deflection there. Yeah,
that was. I mean, Jack Brown's been anywhere. I see, his coach for a team in the chat. How it's like, hey, Jack needs a Hall of Fame nod right here. I don't disagree, but he's out here showing why he's definitely a 5-time All-Star.
There you go. Play action, 4 wide receiver set, goes down to the bottom, and it just sails over the head of his defender, receiver Stephen Bush. 4th down coming up, and at this current field position, Gerald, they're going to have to bring Marcus Agrippa back out for another 5-second hang time punt.
And look, and you know what happened? Charleston forced this punt, which is good for them.
Yeah, defense is doing great. I do think,
look, and this, I don't know if this is saying a whole lot, but Charleston made progress on their last drive on offense. They didn't turn it over. They actually punted it away. So if you can protect it and kind of keep moving that, but you got to move the ball down the field.
This time the punt lands down at about the 11-yard line, falling forward and gaining 2 up to the 13, and that is where John Lakeman will return to the field on offense. Let's see if they can get something going. Lakeman, 4 of 13, 74 yards, no touchdowns, 3 picks, and in the running game, only 3 combined rushing attempts for 8 yards. Something's got to start working here.
Yeah, I mean, and they're trying to do it through the air, but they're going to have to do something in the run game here.
Lakeman rolls out right, pressure coming, throws, and incomplete. Great job by the defense. Pass was broken up by Daniel Wright.
Yep, the newly acquired All-Star from Minnesota. And Daniel Wright coming over and being able to knock that ball out right there. And that's the second drop by Xavier Solomon now.
That's why the last 3 drives have been a total of 2 yards. And 2 picks and a punt out of those last 3 drives as well.
It's not a recipe for success.
Absolutely not. Lakeman throws, tipped away and incomplete. The coverage is stifling so far by Florida's defense. If you love defensive football, so far this opening game of season 22, this one's for you.
Yeah, because you had 4 total picks, a defensive touchdown.
Yeah, pass deflections galore.
And then you're getting some punch right here and seeing how the turnover, margin is actually in Florida's favor. You think it would be a lot more lopsided than what it is, but it's not.
Only 3 rushing. Oh,
no, Benjamin Warner. Why? That was your opportunity. He was behind everybody, and he just tried. That was the opportunity.
That was it. Man. That was it. Benjamin Warner had the ball in his hands. He was past all the defenders. He'd still be running, but drops that pass. He's just got to feel crushed right now as he heads back to the sideline. 4th down, Blueberry back out to punt once again, standing in his own end zone for the 2nd consecutive drive. This punt, a little bit better than the other one, goes to about the 39-yard line. Returned once again by Tarantino, gets it up to about the 48.
What a missed opportunity by Charleston there. That could have been like a momentum-changing deal right there. Now look at these total yards in the second quarter. Are we just like, is that accurate? Like, because I thought it might be kind of maybe flip-flop there with the commissioner putting up the the graphic early with 2 yards on the Charleston side of the last 7 drives, and they didn't move an inch on that one there. But still, it's not a whole lot of offensive production from either team in this second quarter.
Chris Komisak moving up to the line. Ball handed off to Beletsky. He rumbles forward for a gain of 10, his longest rush of the night so far, as we get closer to midway through quarter number 2.
Yeah, I think what happened there is somebody on the sideline says, bro, they questioning your rushing ability. And he just got fire lit under him. And it's like, oh, yes, that's what we're going on. All right, we'll see. Like, we need to turn this around. We need to make this game as lopsided as it should be with all the turnovers that we've gotten from Charleston.
2 receivers, 2 backs. Cochran to throw. Fires deep down the middle into double coverage. And that one is incomplete. 2nd down and 10. Ron Cochran, 7 of 17. A 41% completion percentage, Gerald. Not indicative of what we saw out of him all last season.
No, when you've got, your QBRs, right, sub 50 for both quarterbacks right here, it just shows you what's happening in the defensive secondary and covering these wide receivers. It's been a struggle for most of the first half by both squads.
That one
Jack
into
Brown.
coverage again, yeah. Brown, MVP of the defense for Charleston so far.
He's actually had the opportunity at a pick, to kind of get the ball back for his team right there, and actually pretty good, territory right there to pick that off. He would have got himself, on the, near the 40 or something like that, depending on the return.
Yep.
Before he gets a 3rd and 10 opportunity.
Deja vu is here on the field as Florida could potentially have to punt from about the same location as they did the past 2 drives. If they can't convert this, 3rd down and 10. Cochran
There's
rolls out
penetration.
right. Pressure coming, and now look at that duck. Got hit as he threw, and the ball just flutters down to the turf.
Very, very good pressure right there.
Yeah.
Coming in by Matt Ryan, blitzing from his free safety position, busting through the line and put some pressure and being able to put pressure on Rod Cochran and force that short throw.
Look at Brown's stats. 8 total tackles and 3 pass deflections. That would be a good stat line for a linebacker in a game. And we're a quarter and a half into the season so far.
Now let's put it in perspective how good Jack Brown has been for his team.
Hang on. Look at this Agrippa punt, man.
I'll tell you, I'm never questioning that guy. Why would we question that guy?
4.9 second hang time officially. And then just casually rolls down to the 3.
That ball bounced at the 16-yard line and got down to the 4.
Put that man back in the Pro Bowl. A 37-yard spectacular punt. Listen, K.L. Barrett Jr., the punter for the Mexico City Aztecs, I think he's one of the best in the league. Marcus Agrippa, he's doing things that you shouldn't be able to do by kicking a ball. That's just unbelievable. Saren Storm with a gain of 9, literally more than doubling Charleston's rushing output so far in this one.
Yeah, without a doubt. Look, and speaking of somebody having more rushing, more statistics than the other, before that last tackle by Florida, Jack Brown had more tackles himself than what Florida had an entire team.
That's crazy. Jack Brown doing good things. Nick Hoagland gets a 1st down for Charleston, and they desperately needed even just that, Gerald, just to get a 1st down, keep a drive going.
Look, and they have a highly paid offensive line right here, right? And that's why I think that their success is going to come, not through the passing game, but through the rushing attack right here against Florida. Even though Florida had, ended up being a situation where he was just open. He dropped back too far, and they just hit him in stride.
Second quarter feeling like it's taking a whole game worth of time as possessions keep flipping back and forth. Short drop once again connecting to Davius Reed, 2nd down and 7.
And you know what's crazy about it right here? It feels like the second quarter has taken place possessions. Florida not getting past Charleston's 35 and Charleston not getting out of their own territory. It's been played on, as we look at the field from left to right, it's been played on the left side of the field this entire quarter.
Right. The fans that are sitting down in the east end zone here are, they want something to come their way. Oh, no, almost threw another interception up top. Pass broken up. Daniel Wright once again.
Wow, it was another pass toward Xavier Solomon. I mean, he wasn't open right there. It seems like they've been in all the passing lanes, Florida, for the most part, right? Unless they kind of put themselves in some sort of a deep zone. Charleston has been struggling to complete a pass. There's another blitz.
Lakeman throws. Lakeman has his pass broken up. There's another guy that we've seen a few times tonight, Gerald. Andrew Francis with another pass deflection to his name. And this Charleston drive comes to a closed Blueberry out to punt. And This time, at least a little bit better field position for them. Putting it back into their hands of their defense. See what they can do. So, a couple of touchdowns and a field goal in the first quarter. So far in the second quarter, we've seen 2 picks and several punts.
Yeah, it's been like I say, if you like defensive ball, this is it. Now the only thing right here Charleston has is they can somehow they got a little bit of yardage out of it, and they're able to get Florida a bit further back in their own territory instead of starting their drives at the 50-yard line or inside Charleston territory. Florida finally gets to start a drive, which is good for Charleston. Charleston's able to pin them back and back at Florida's own 30.
Ron Cochran, 7 of 20. 71 yards, 35% completion percentage. We are older than his completion percentage is high.
Yeah, that's
not that hard. We're old. Completes that one. Short pass for a gain of 6, connecting with Art Vandelay.
And a couple of quarterbacks, right? At the end of last season in the playoffs were number 1 and number 2 in QBR. In the playoffs, the Lake man being number 1, Cochran being number 2.
Yeah.
And these guys have got sub 50 QBRs right now.
Yeah, they got to brush off the dust. Get things going here. Charlie Boletsky, he'll rush for a gain of 2.
Yeah, and Jerry, look at this stat. This is very interesting. 4 for 4 on third downs. Started that way.
Yeah.
0 for 5 cents.
Oh, the Charleston defense has stepped up. I mean, Jack
yeah,
Brown's flying all over the place. Jacob Clear's got a few pass breakups. Adam Nold with a pick 6. I mean, this defense, there's Jack. Missed that tackle, but it's all right. Khalil Thomas comes in and cleans it up. Brings Kaysen down. First down and 10 for Florida as the backup halfback gets some action.
Yeah, and the blocking on that was superb because he didn't get touched until he got to the second level of that defense, and it was just real easy for him to just run right by. Credit to the offensive line for holding true.
From their own 45-yard line, Boletsky gets it up to midfield. That will bring us to the 2-minute warning. Second down and 5 coming up on the other side. Simulation Football League Season 22 kickoff tonight. Getting the season started. Charleston at Florida, the defending champion Florida Storm, back in championship form after having a few seasons in a row where they just weren't quite up to their usual standard of, making it to the championship.
Oh, wow.
Boletsky spins, gets it all the way to make it a 3rd down and 1. Content to let the clock run at the moment. Florida in season 20 finished 5-7. How'd they respond to that? 10-2 in the regular season, won all 3 playoff or postseason games, I should say, including the championship. Started off 7-0 last season, Gerald. Cochran on 3rd down, pitches it down to the bottom. Kaysen, can he get there?
Wow.
No! Kaysen gets stuffed. Jack Brown, once again, getting in there, getting the stop. 4th down. And are you surprised nobody's calling a timeout here?
Yeah, I am extremely surprised unless they content to kind of regroup. But look, Sam Blotner right there got there first. But the guy who's been actually the key component on defense for Charleston.
They're going for it.
He didn't get it.
No, he did. Rolled over and got the 1st down. Florida calls their first timeout.
You think so?
Positive.
That's got to be a challenge. That's aggressive.
Inside 2 minutes, we'll see if they take another look at it. No,
no.
Yeah, he rolled over the defender. He got the first.
Yeah, but it would have been at least worth a look.
No look shall be had. Cochran still out on the field. Rolls out down to the bottom. Throws about 20 yards downfield, wide open. Ron Haynes gets the 1st down. And Florida calls their second timeout.
And what do you do? Look, and that's why you think Florida still thinks, hey, they're actually doing something really good that they have.
And welcome back. Ron Cochran on the field. 52 seconds to go here in the first half. Up by 3, looking to make this a 2-score ball game. Two backs in the backfield. Cochran to throw. Quick pass over the middle. Ron Haynes, first down and goal from the 5. Florida burns their final timeout.
Yeah, right after we come back from getting my lemon cookies, Ron Cochran didn't waste any time to getting his team inside the 5.
It's amazing the power you have to be able to tell the refs, hey, listen, you need to call a TV timeout as I need to go get some refreshments.
I'm feeling on top of the world. I got some TV time. You know, Mr. Irvine let me talk for about 30 minutes pre-games. I'm down with it.
Ron Haynes with 4 catches tonight. Ties his season 21 high. That means he was grossly underutilized last season. Cochran looks, fires towards the end zone, and that one is just shy of the goal line. Second down and goal.
Yeah, and I don't know if I'd run tempo right here. You could have took your time.
Yeah. Cochran rolls out right once again. Throws back into the middle. It's a touchdown for Florida. Stephen Bush gets the catch and gets the score.
And that's why they've won 4 championships and I won none. Who cares about taking time? Just roll out to the right and have Stephen Bush just trailing right behind, and you just dump it off to him right over the middle of the field where ain't nobody looking. So now they give themselves a 2-score lead right here. You know what wanted me them to have them lemon cookies? Those Florida pants and helmet.
Yeah.
By the way, those things were baked deliciously.
Oh, they were wonderful. Yeah, my wife sends us off to the games with snacks in hand, and lemon cookies. A weirdly easy recipe. You just take a box of cake mix it with a package of Cool Whip, or let's say whipped topping, because, can be a generic one too, and 1 egg. That's it. That's the whole recipe. Box of cake mix, tub of whipped topping, and an egg. And you just form it into a little ball and bake it.
Delicious lemon cake mix. It's this stuff. It's almost like a pillow. It's half cake, half cookie. It's one of the better things I've ever had.
Yeah, it was delicious. Ian Francis gets this one out to the 19. 28 seconds left. I would expect just a couple of handoffs here, maybe just one. Saren Storm, 3 rushing attempts for 14 yards. Nick Hoagland, 2 rushing attempts for 7 yards. Neither one of them really getting much going on the ground yet. Nick Hoagland with over 1,000 yards last season, and so far just with 7.
We got to get Mr. Bruiser a cookie. Somehow, get that man a cookie.
He wants a cookie. Well,
a lemon cookie.
Buy a box of cake mix, a tub of whipped topping, and find yourself an egg, and you too can have fresh baked lemon cookies. Tackle for a loss on the play. Second down and 11. And expect one more handoff. Hoagland in the backfield. That will bring us to halftime. A great defensive battle, great special teams battle, especially if you like punters. The Lake Man, he'll be the one to carry it. He runs for a gain of 5. That'll bring us to a close on quarter number 2. So 2 quarters down, 2 left to go. 17-7 is your score at the half. And Gerald, even with that score, I argue to say it's been all Florida in this one. Those 7 points for Charleston coming on an Adam Nold pick 6. Other than that, Charleston's had no offensive production really to speak of, and Florida looking like they're picking up where they left off. They're being pretty efficient, getting it done.
Yeah, and it's all done by the defense, right? Look, they did have a couple of drives right at the, after that pick 6 they drove it right down and scored really quickly. Then they just had, for both squads, they had this little, most of the second quarter lull where nothing was really happening. Their defense is doing the job.
Welcome back for the start of quarter number 3. I'm Mike Daggs. He is Gerald Smith. With us on stats tonight, Ron Haynes and Caleb Giffis. Cameron Irvine, our producer, back at SFL Studios. Florida kicks things off to get the second half started. John Lakeman in the first half, Gerald, 6 of 20 for only 89 yards, no touchdowns, 3 interceptions.
I think it's credit to the Florida defense, forcing them in situations they don't want to be in.
We'll get this quarter started with a run.
Oh,
Hoagland fumbles the ball, and it is recovered by Florida, and Charleston's night goes from bad to worse.
Jesus Smith comes right around the corner, grabs him, and he thinks and Hoagland thinks he's by him, but he punches the ball out from the side. He thought he was beyond Jesus Smith right there, but he ended up punching it out, and ends up getting recovered by Daniel Wright. As if things couldn't get any worse to start the second half for Charleston, they turn it over at the 25-yard line.
So Florida back out on the field on offense. Cochran, 12 of 26, 122 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. Charlie Beletsky, 14 carries for 53 yards, gets another 3 there as they are already in scoring range. Florida with a 2-score advantage currently and looking to make it a 3.
Yeah, and it looks like you got Max Paul on the sideline saying, we got to stick it to him. His motion's like, we got to stick it to him. Guys, we're up 10, but we got to
keep your foot on the gas.
We need to put the forks in them. And, I mean, look, having that mentality is why you got 4 championships.
Haynes in motion up to the top. Cochran to throw once again. Rolls, spins, throws another pick. And this Charleston defense keeps on crushing it. Khalil Thomas gets the takeaway and once again protects their offense's mistakes.
Yeah, and here they are. I mean, they're going to have to do more of that because Ron Cochran had nowhere to go with it. He started to kind of roll back and realize, hey, the pocket is kind of collapsing around me. I can't go back any further, and tried to make a play. Just real quick, probably saw a flash of blue, didn't realize White was around, and Khalil Thomas jumps right in front of it and picks it off to get his team back the ball.
4 turnovers from this Charleston offense, though. They need to keep the ball clean. And Lakeman breaks a sack and immediately throws it right back to the Storm. Evan Carroll with the pick, and Gerald, you just look beside yourself here.
It was a play, and and the Lakeman gets hit and kind of rebounds himself. It looks like right before he kind of pump faked because he got hit. He had his guy open, but then after he rebounded after getting knocked over, he still tried to hit his guy, and it just the pass just wasn't open at that point. And now you give it right back. That's, oh my God, that's
crazy.
That's what, 5 turnovers by 4 interceptions by
4
Lakeman
interceptions and a
lost
fumble. Yep.
Holy smokes!
Florida's got 2 turnovers of their own. Ron Cochran with 2 picks, but so far Charlie Beletsky has not fumbled any balls away. Gets 8 on that one, gets them down to about the 27-yard line, 2nd down and 2.
I don't know what more of the defense of Charleston can do right now. They keep getting put in these, rough situations, and it's a situation where it's a recipe for disaster, right? But they're not being set up to succeed.
Kayson's able to gain about 2.5 there. Just enough to move the chains. 1st down and 10. Gets it up to about the 25-yard line. This poor Charleston defense has done everything in their power to keep Charleston in this game. But defense and special teams is the only thing that's been going right so far for these Predators. Charlie Beletsky starting to gain some momentum here. And yards. He started off a little bit slow, Gerald, but now putting his foot on the gas a little bit. 17 carries, 70 yards. And the play differential there, darn near double. Florida's takeaways have certainly aided keeping their offense out there. Kaysen
Wow.
Once again, getting the ball, breaks some tackles, learning it from watching Boletsky play. Gets it all the way up just about the 10-yard line. First down and 10 from the 10.
You know, broke a tackle from safety John Stamengo right there, and able to just kind of keep going and, you know, picked himself up close to 10 yards on that play, getting him, you know, inside the 10 now. So, I mean, Charleston at this point, I mean, look, they can try and force a turnover right here, but I think now, I mean, a win for them, I think, on this drive defensively would just be to force a field goal to keep it to a 2-score. Wow, how about that?
Yeah, Charlie Boletsky says, I'm going to run again. Jack Brown says, I'm going to keep adding on to my Hall of Fame style day. There you go. I gave him a little Hall of Fame nod there.
Yeah, dude, he's got 14 or 15 tackles just
sure
today.
Sure does, yeah.
That's more than Florida's team combined.
Been playing lights out football. Tackle for a loss there. DJ the Myth with the $5 super chat. And Charleston with an opportunity to get the pick. Gerald shaking his hands like, just take the ball away. DJ the Myth says Ashley Jackson is going to have a field day with all these interceptions. I'm not sure if he's paying her a compliment or an insult.
She's going to have a field day because the Arizona defense is going to be getting some interceptions?
Or is she going to be throwing all those interceptions?
Or is she going to be throwing them to Indianapolis?
I'm not entirely sure. Do another $5 super chat and let us know.
Well, DJ the Myth is
Cochran. Fires towards the end zone. That one's nearly taken away.
That would be DJ Moses, running back. So I'm assuming, I don't know. I'm confused.
Ethan Sneed on for a field goal try as the defense is once again able to keep this Florida offense out of the end zone. Field goal is on its way. It's up. It's good. And that still extends it to a 3-score game. Ashley Jackson also asking for clarifications, which I don't blame you. I want to know what that meant. Hey, have you ever wanted to do what we're doing up here in the booth and be a play-by-play or an analyst broadcaster? We are looking for passionate SFL participants, viewers like yourself, to join the team for this Major League season. Please visit simulationfl.net/broadcasting for more details on how you can get involved and get your voice on the call. And you never know what else. You might find yourself on a pregame show one day. Charleston gets it up to the 27-yard line. And DJ the Myth with a $2 super chat says, no for the push-ups. 1 interception equals 10 push-ups. I am even more confused than I was moments ago.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a compliment or stuff. It's like, hey, Ashley, beware about throwing interceptions because you're going to have to bulk up if you throw a lot.
Yeah. $7 later, I don't know what you're trying to say, DJ. Split backs in the backfield on first down. The Lake Man throws and gets the ball connected to Honus Odeby. Excuse me, that is Davius Reed. And gets a first down and get this drive started. First down and 10 from the 42. Ball is handed off this time to Hoagland, his first carry after fumbling the ball away. Gains 2 this time. So word is Ashley Jackson does push-ups for every pick she throws. So if she throws a bunch of picks, it's going to be a lot of push-ups. And she'll gain arm strength. Team stats comparison, passing yards about the same, total yards very much in Florida's favor, 218 to 146. Those rushing yards for Florida darn near double what Charleston's been able to produce so far.
And look, and Florida's got a pretty balanced attack based on the yardage, right? What they're able to do productively, right, on offense, and then, you know, and Charleston, right? I don't think Charleston got into Florida territory one time and they threw a pick.
Yeah, in the end zone. 3 down linemen here on this 3rd down and 8. Florida sends only 3. Drops 8.
Oh.
Deep pass incomplete. 4th down. And another Charleston drive ending in a punt.
Well, I'm not sure if it got to Davius Reed or if it was tipped right there by Ryan Davidson in coverage right there. I think he might have knocked it off of its trajectory to get to the wide receiver right there. But here we are, Florida doing what Florida does, right? It feels like it's if we have the Rick meter with us, I think he'd be saying it's be leaning heavily toward Florida at this point.
Fair catch called for, and they're going to call fair catch interference as the Charleston defender ran into the returner, and Jacob Clear beside himself, and he should be. Team just not playing up to standard. $5 super chat by Charlie Boletsky. Let's have a great season, SFL. Florida, back to back. I can agree with the first half of that super chat. And that is all.
I'm just glad I ain't got to play Florida this season.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You only got to play the Aztecs, Fort Worth, Alamo City, Houston. Yeah. It's so much better now.
I'm not worried about Mexico City.
Oh.
They're just.
Unplug your mic.
I'm not worried about those scrubs. Did you see them last season? I did.
Wow. It'd be a shame if I spilled this water.
Yeah.
2nd down and 2. Remind me to send a thank you note to the commissioner for making you a division rival. That was very sweet of him. Kaysen gets another nice carry. He's been doing a good job in this one. Avian Kaysen, the backup to Charlie Boletsky, breaking some tackles, gaining some yards. 5 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. Ron Cochran completes another one to Ron Haynes. And Gerald, we saw a stat earlier that said Ron Haynes had only completed a season high of 4 catches in a game last season. Officially 5 now. So he's setting records of his own compared to last season.
Yeah,
here in week 1.
Single game records.
That's it. Cochran with another short drop decides to make it a little bigger. He's going to run for it and sack Jack Brown. Who else?
Yep, Jack Brown coming. He just kind of floated out there and was waiting for something to happen. And he's like, hey, look, looks like the quarterback's trying to escape. Let's shut that door on him right there, and just throws him to the ground. Throws down a Hall of Famer. He's like, I want that Hall of Fame jacket too. So let's just throw you to the ground and add to my gazillion amount of tackles that I had this game.
3 receivers down to the bottom, 1 to the top. 3rd down and 7. Can the defense hold again? Deep pass over the middle, tipped and incomplete, and the defense steps up. Sam Blotner knocks that one away. Another incompletion for Ron Cochran. 4th down coming up.
Yeah, and that was another opportunity for them to pick a ball off because they've actually had quite a few, balls get to the hands of the defenders that they're just not able to wrangle down. Now we're about to see this 3-yard punt roll to the end zone or something. Maybe not.
A much shorter hang time than his other. Well, I say much shorter, still 4.7 seconds. But
and it goes in the end
I guess
zone.
it wasn't as mystical of a punt as the ones that just floated in the heavens forever and landed at the 20 and then rolled to the 2.
I can agree. I can very much agree. When you make 8 All-Star games and that's as many seasons as you've been in the league. This is your 9th. You're not quite eligible for it. I don't see him turning back. I think the ballot is hit with him as punter in the All-Star game now.
I would agree. The Lake Man rolls out to the right, throws.
This time,
Benjamin Warner able to get the completion, and Lake Man needed that. 7 of 24, 105 yards, no touchdowns and 4 picks before that throw right there. His 8th completion of the ball game, nets some decent yards.
And on that completion alone, he doubled his QBR.
Yeah.
I'm not going to read what it is because it's not very high, but he doubled his QBR.
The run game for Charleston struggling so far in this one. 8 carries for 26 yards, 3.3 yards per carry. And the stat that's not listed there is also a lost fumble. by Nick Hoagland, who just carried that one for a gain of 1. Gerald, 4 interceptions thrown by Lakeman and a lost fumble by Nick Hoagland. You'd think that this game would be out of hand, but it's not. Charleston's still in it. They're down 2 scores. Their defense has been lights out for the past 2 quarters. The offense, if they can just get something going, they can get back in this game.
Right. If they can get a touchdown, it could potentially change the momentum and the mindset of this offense, and seeing, what they're able to get down there and do, because they had their opportunity to go down there through the pick in the end zone, but their defense has kept them in it. Just one, if they get a touchdown, I think it's kind of a new ball game for them, because their defense is playing that good.
Trying to convert this 3rd down. Oh,
Saren
breaks the
Storm.
tackle and gets the yardage needed for the first down. Saren Storm had a quiet night so far, but has a big play there on 3rd down and 1.
Saren Storm coming off and spinning out of the tackle, Juan, Mississippi right there, being able to get his team the first down, because if they'd not have picked that up, I know it's in the 3rd quarter, but I've been quite demoralized for them. And I know that's what they're saying, oh, man, we can't get a break. But, hey, look, you got one right there. Your running back put you in a position to reset the downs, and now you got to make the most of it.
Hoagland that time stuffed back at the line. Jesus Smith gets the tackle. 2nd down and 10.
Their defensive front is playing really, really good up against the run. Dude, they're clogging the running lanes like I don't know what.
Lakeman sending Warner into motion. Lakeman back to pass, throws over the middle and connects once again. Sent Warner up top. Must have liked what he saw up there. Gets the first down and keeps this drive alive. Gerald, looks like there's a couple of new people in the chat asking what this game is. Jumping back to first quarter read for a moment. If you're new to the Simulation Football League, welcome to the league. Appreciate y'all being here and joining us tonight for the opening game of Season 22. The SFL is football for everyone. You can have your own player in the league. You can get off the sideline and start that player today by joining our Discord server. Go to simulationfl.net, click the Join the Community button, and you can begin your career today or just meet the stars of the SFL, both on and off the field. Simulationfl.net, the place to do that. 2nd down and 8, 2-yard carry by Storm.
Yeah, and they're actually moseying their way in there. They got themselves in the field goal range right there, and it's just one of the better drives they've had. Look, I mean, we yet to see how this is going to finish, but they're going to have to finish this drive. And I don't think, coming away with the field goal here, it's something, but you're still going to be down 2 scores. They need to make the most of their opportunity.
Oh, Lakeman throws. The ball looked like it was tipped, but still caught. Xavier Solomon, gets the catch. I think that might. I want to see this replay. Oh no, he just plucked it onto the sky.
But
wow.
He's been having ball handling troubles this entire game with a lot of drop passes, but he's able to grab one in traffic, and it's maybe they're finally coming into their own right here.
Lakeman throws once again. Warner
at the 5.
And you know what the difference has been on this drive, Gerald? It's the time it takes for him to release that ball. He's not just standing back there in the pocket and waiting, giving that Florida defense time to respond. One step drop and throw. He's done it a few times now, and it's been working.
Yeah, and what you have, too, there, what Florida's doing, in that 4-3 defense right there, they kind of sent one of their outside linebackers, which right there, where they vacated that, Benjamin Warner ran right in that spot, and Lakeman was really good at recognizing it that quick to get him to him that fast.
Warner with 5 catches on 10 targets. This time it goes to Xavier Solomon again. My gosh, I can't say his name right, but he gets a touchdown anyway. Charleston cuts it to a 1-score game. And Gerald, that's what we were talking about at the beginning of this drive. Seemed like it was all Florida. 5 turnovers by the offense. They're down by 7.
And it was such like a log jam right there. There was a lot of pushing and go whatever. And Lakeman threw it to the spot, had confidence in Xavier Solomon to catch it in traffic. And with this field goal right here, they're down 6 points. It's a whole new ball game with a quarter left to go in the game.
Absolutely. Now the defense has to keep doing what the defense has been doing. Step up and shut down this championship offense. It's a tall task, but they've been up to it so far tonight.
And they had, look, and it's all on the defense, right? Like the defense scored half the points that they've gotten so far. The offense made 2 attempts to get down there and score touchdowns. They only succeeded on 1. The other one, they threw an interception in the end zone. But look, Lakeman isn't deterred. He just goes down there and just throws to his guys, has confidence in his guys' ability to be able to, come down with the balls that he throws. So he's actually improved what he's got going on. And here we are starting the fourth quarter.
3 quarters in the books. 10 minutes remains here in the opening act of the Simulation Football League Season 22. Stay with us.
The Simulation Football League is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or account of the game without the express written consent of the league office is prohibited.
I'm Mike Daggs. He is Gerald Smith. With us on stats, Ron Haynes and Caleb Giffus. Kevin Irvine, our producer, back at SFL Studios. Some new production elements in the game here for Season 22, as you've seen featured throughout the broadcast tonight. More customized information, stats, updates, figures being added into the production package. Once again, fantastic work by Cameron Irvine. Speaking of, John Lakeman, 6 of 6 passing on the last drive for 75 yards. He had only thrown 7 completions all game before starting that drive, and then threw another 6 on 6 attempts.
Were they sandbagging? Is that what's going on?
Beletsky breaks 1 tackle, tries to break 2, basically does, but then gets double team tackled after a nice gain on the play. 3rd down and 2. But here we go. Charleston's defense with a big opportunity here.
Yep, and that's the thing. And Khalil Thomas was one of the guys like getting these last 2 tackles right here, participating in it, and getting his team, in a situation where Bullet Beletsky is not going to pick up that 1st down. But look, I'm not that player. That was a pretty good play call by Florida right there. Look, and they're showing no panic right here. But here it is. Kason is on the field, and Bullet Beletsky is on the sideline on his 3rd and short.
High formation, 3rd down and 2. And Kaysen gets the handoff and is stopped at the line of scrimmage. They'll spot him with a 1-yard gain, but the tackle is made. 4th down, and Marcus Agrippa on to punt. And here we go, Gerald.
Yes, and here it is that Charleston got one of the stops they did to force a 3 and out. But did you saw Jack Brown run in there and scared Kaysen into running to the outside and ended up being a tackle for no gain? It was something crazy.
I feel like Brown. Wow. No. Oh, he's lucky he held on to that ball just there. Wow, what a hit. I feel like Jack Brown's probably just running into the backfield screaming like a wild man. Just Kayson's just like, oh God.
It was so fit. Like if you've ever met Jack Brown, it kind of fits his wild hail styles that he had. It seemed like he would just do that.
Okay. Anyway, Charleston getting things a little bit more evened up in the yardage column. Saren Storm takes the handoff to get this drive started. He'll gain 4. So, man, after what's felt like such a Florida-centric game, here we are on the first drive of the 4th quarter for Charleston. They have an opportunity to reclaim the lead. They actually scored first on that pick 6. They've had the lead in this game. They're trying to get back out in front.
And the champs are going to be kicking themselves if they somehow let this one slip away with all the opportunities they had with all the turnovers.
100%. You get 5 takeaways. It should be, honestly, an easy W. 4-yard gain, 3rd down and 2.
And that's the thing right there. Like when you pull Bullet Beletsky off the field in that 3rd and short, and then you still try to run the ball. Yeah, Kason has been pretty successful early on in the game. Here it is. I mean, could he be getting winded and not have that oomph behind him and everything else? And I would take that. If I'm Charleston, I'd take that backup in there over Bullet Beletsky every time.
Absolutely,
and be able to bring him down. But here's his biggest 3rd down opportunity for Charleston.
The Lake man under center. He'll throw on 3rd and 2. Gets the connection, gets the 1st down. Lakeman has now hit 7 passes in a row.
And it's crazy because he had 7 completions before all game before that last drive,
and now 7 of 7 since.
Yeah, and close to half of his completions have been to Benjamin Warner. So he's got real confidence. I mean, he had a confidence in him last season, and then being a leader and reception getter on the team.
Blitz coming, but Hoagland able to run right by the first level, gains 3. Second down and 7. APM Music is unrivaled music to bring your stories to life, inspiring every production with the world's most robust and constantly refreshed music collection, state-of-the-art technology, and world-class customer service. APM Music is the official soundtrack of the Simulation Football League. To explore their library and find the perfect track for your projects, visit apmmusic.com. Hoagland up to the top. Gains another 4 yards. They're down and 3.
Look, not to take eyes off the game, but holy cow. It's hard not to see Max Paul on the sideline with his, tropical
His Hawaiian
floral
shirt.
I see him, and he's just like,
Everyone's
what is
wearing
this?
blue on the sideline except for him.
Oh, what a catch!
8 of 8. Benjamin Warner with another reception. He's just been the safety blanket for Lakeman here in the second half.
And he's grabbing the balls down. He's kind of taken over the game and as this receiver right here, just kind of taking it, just throw it to me, I'm gonna catch it.
Yep.
It's almost like just hey, Lakeman, just close your eyes and throw it in my direction. I'm going to pull it down.
Targeted 10 times. He's caught 7 of them, 95 yards. Looking to add maybe a touchdown to that stat line.
That's his 8th straight completion.
Warner in motion up top. Had a big catch the last time you saw him go in motion. Now in the slot. Offset eye in the backfield inside 6 minutes. That one's going to go back into the hands of Hoagland with another impressive run. They'll spot him with 6 on the play. And Charleston, man, they really got things turned around here in the second half.
They are grinding it out there. And that run right there by Hoagland just proved that, hey, these guys still got some stuff left in the tank.
I formation on second down. Saren Storm gets the first inside the 30-yard line. And Gerald, this is very reminiscent of what happened last season when Charleston faced off with Florida. In the first half, it was 24-17 at halftime in favor of Florida. Very little scoring in the third quarter, but then Charleston able to put on 20 points in the fourth quarter to tie it up, send it into overtime. Ultimately, Charleston would lose that game. A field goal in overtime won it for Florida, but a second half team Charleston was in that Week 5 matchup, and a second half team in this one as well.
Yeah, and it seems like that's holding exactly true. Now, I like Jacob Clear's approach right here, right? He's slowing the game down.
Yes.
And actually getting to the running game and actually getting up some chunk yardage right here. I think he's looking to milk the clock and score and hopefully get that extra point to put his team up by 1. There's
Saren
nobody
Storm.
out.
Could not beat the outside linebacker, Juan, Mississippi, with potentially a touchdown-saving tackle there.
If Juan did not get on the edge like he did to fight off that block, I think Saren Storm very well could be walking into the end zone.
Yeah, Andrew Francis was out there. He might have been able to set an angle, but that would have been a first down for sure. Big third down and 2. Hoagland lowers the shoulder, trucks a defender, gets the first down, sends Daniel right onto his back. And, like you said, this drive is just chewing up some clock as well. It started early on in the fourth quarter with almost 9 minutes to go in the quarter. Here we are, less than 4.
They're doing it. And what a great block by the fullback, Terrell Sutherland, right there, dude, to hold his block.
Saren Storm gets the ball, surges up the middle for a gain of 1. Inside the red zone now, Gerald, they threw a red zone pick earlier on in the ball game. Got to play clean football. And anyone who believes in a broadcaster's curse is screaming at me right now. But fortunately, I'm up here in the booth and can't hear their yells.
Yo, better you than me.
Hoagland stuffed back at the line.
Picked up a yard. Now, what are they going to do 3rd and long right here? I mean, we know they haven't been overly successful on the 3rd and longs. This is where Florida likes to bring pressure. And I wonder if Florida's going to bring pressure right here. It looks like somewhat of a man coverage, so we're going to see what they're going to do.
4 receiver set. Lakeman rolls out to the right, has time, throws, end zone, tipped and incomplete.
He was open, Benjamin Warner.
Warner missed the ball.
It was a touchdown had he caught it in there. It comes off of his shoulder. He overran the pass. and it bounced off of his shoulder. Fortunate enough for Charleston, it didn't, that carom off his shoulder didn't result into an interception by the Florida defense. But, oh, man.
We've seen a couple of drops, key drops by
right,
Warner
and
tonight.
that could have put so much pressure on Florida this late in the game.
So a field goal try forthcoming to make it a 3-point game. Kick is on its way. Hooks back to the right after scaring everybody in Charleston. Kick is good. So 3-point ball game now. Brad Bretchett, a former Storm player from back in the day, gets that field goal. And now lining up to kick this one off.
Yeah, don't kick it. Don't onside it. Kick it deep right here.
Yep, they will.
I know some coaches would be ultra aggressive right here and want to do it, but guess what? Your defense is playing really well right now.
You might get a pick six and take the lead right here.
Right, and even if Florida goes down and makes a field goal right here and they don't take up too much time, you still have an opportunity.
You still absolutely do. So, and here's the key thing as well is if Charleston does get the ball back without any scoring by Florida, they don't even need a touchdown per se. A field goal would at least let the game keep on going. 15-play drive. It was their longest tonight and longest by either team. Not only 15 plays, but it took up a good 6 minutes or so.
Yeah, I think it was like 5 minutes, 45 seconds or something like that, but it was a whole lot. Yeah, right under 6 minutes. You're correct. Holy cow. That's a thing. Look, if you want to look, and who would have capped it off if they could have kept going and got a touchdown? They would have ate up more time on the clock. But I think the pressure's on Florida right now that they got to pick up first downs and actually make something happen.
Ron Cochran, he's going to throw. Oh no! Threw a pick on the first play. Jacob Clear from the couch to the field, as the league likes to say, and he got it done right there. A huge opportunity now for Charleston.
Yeah, and look, he had a first hiccup on his first play, but look, Ron Haynes did not realize the ball was coming to him, and it was just free pickings right there for Jacob Clear, and now they have it almost right at midfield. Ron Haynes did not know it was coming to him. Maybe he ran the wrong route, or I don't know what happened there, but he didn't know it was coming. He had no idea.
So in the first half, the total yardage all looked like Florida, and that was it. In the second half, Charleston 3 times the yardage of Florida's output, and now they're in the driver's seat. Handing the ball off, Hoagland stuffed at the line. Plenty of time to run your standard offense. And like I said, Gerald, if they get the touchdown here, obviously they'll take the lead, but they can play for a field goal, although I'm sure they still have fresh on their mind the Week 5 matchup from last season where they went to overtime and lost. So we'll see what happens here on this drive. Lakeman will throw on second down. Pass down the right sideline, overthrows his target.
And it was a Benjamin Warner, again, has been the target. All he had to do was put a slight air under it, because he had his guys beat by a few yards. He could have caught that in stride and kept on running.
Lakeman got excited there. He saw how open Warner was, and just I think the adrenaline just got to him a little too much. 15-34, 193 yards, 4 picks. But, man, are they still in it. 3-point ball game.
Florida's playing a deep zone right here.
Davius Reed down to the bottom. Lakeman under center. 3rd down and 10. Lakeman has time. 3-man rush. Goes down the middle of the field. Oh, and he gets Warner. Warner holds on this time all the way down to the 13-yard line, and that is going to bring us to the 2-minute warning. But a huge play by Charleston. 1st down and 10 inside the red zone.
And Florida playing a deep zone. I thought they had the perfect defense call to be able to stop it. But the protection by the Charleston offensive line, all those 5 offensive linemen, able to knock some of the Florida defenders to the ground and take them completely out of the play, give Lakeman enough time to find his guy in Benjamin Warner that gets him inside the red zone for potentially a game-winning score.
Ryan Tobin in on the coverage, just could not see the ball. 8 receptions tonight, ties Benjamin Warner's season 21 high. Gerald, this is how you start season 22.
It doesn't get any better than this. It's almost like playoff football, but in week 1.
Opening act of season 22, Charleston at Florida. Florida out in front, 20-17. Charleston with the ball. Mike Daggs alongside Gerald Smith. Saren Storm gets the handoff rushes forward to about the 10-yard line, gain of 4. And Florida might want to consider using some timeouts here.
Jacob Clear is playing it just as you should right here. You have all your timeouts. There's no rush. You are in field goal range, and your kicker is extremely good and experienced in these situations. See what you can get on the ground for first and second down. Depending on third, you might want to run it again.
Hoagland gets hit at the line and brought down. 3rd down and 5 coming up. Opening night of Season 22 continues next on SFL YouTube with the Indianapolis Ramblers hosting the Atlanta Swarm, plus the Portland Fleet are heading north to take on rival Vancouver. Action starts at 10:15 p.m. Eastern right here and all weekend long on SFL YouTube. For the full weekend schedule, visit simulationfl.net. 3rd down and 5. End zone. And it is incomplete.
He had it in his hand.
He sure did. Davius Reed with another drop. Lakeman's got to be beside himself with his receivers. There's been some key drops in this one. Let's see how close this one was. Another just right into the hands of his receiver.
They've dropped so many touches. That's the second touchdown
on
as many drops that they dropped.
So 4th down and 5. They will kick the field goal to get this one tied up. But Gerald is as good as Jacob Clear called those plays and tried to bleed as much time as he could. 1:09 on the game clock. Plenty of time.
I had to stop
is that
for a moment.
Is that one almost? He's got this hook to his kicks, Bretchett does, and he likes to cause just little moments of panic. But anyhow, so Max Paul getting ready to dial up his offense, which really has had very poor production in the second half. But all they need is a field goal to reclaim this lead. See what they do here. But how conservative do you play this, Gerald, if you're Florida, when you know that let's see what happens on this return first. All right, tackled at the 32. So 1:01, you've gotten all 3 timeouts. Do you play this conservative and see if you can get something going with Boletsky, or do you throw it, risking another interception? Cochran's got 3 already tonight.
Yeah, and I don't know if you risk it like that. I mean, look, I don't think they're going to stop being who they are and them and everything else, but I don't know. I think you see what you can get on these first couple of plays right here, right? And if you get yourself in a situation to keep on driving down, I think you're doing it. And they're coming out in a 3-wide set right here. I guess we're going to see.
Let's see what happens. Cochran throws. Down the right sideline. If his, I couldn't even see who he just targeted there, but if he had caught that ball, I don't think anyone would have stopped him.
I think it was Stephen Bush. It was just a little off mark right there, just a little bit.
Four wide receiver set on 2nd down. Cochran throws once again, this time connecting with Caleb Giffis. And they're going to let the clock continue to run, Gerald.
Yeah, and they look, and they are not stopping being who they are, right? You know, Ron Cochran, the most efficient quarterback in the regular season last season, and he's just trying to hit his guys.
Split backs in the backfield, 2 receivers to the right. Cochran rolls to the right. Pump fakes. He's going to run with it. He's got to hold on to that ball, and he does. And now Florida will burn their first timeout. 2-yard gain by Cochran. Timeout called. The offense will regroup.
Very, very good coverage by the Charleston secondary right there to make Cochran kind of roll out and actually see if he can get something out of it. And he was forced to run because they had nothing going on.
3 receivers on the field for Florida. Cochran rolls out left, throws back across the middle. One-handed jumping catch at the 32-yard line, just on the outside range of field goal position. 15 seconds to go. Cochran, 7-step drop. Throws it, gets it to Boletsky, who's running the wrong direction. He's running the wrong way. Tackled for a loss.
Timeout.
And a timeout is called with 8 seconds. What a wild series of events. Gerald, they were at the 32. Now they're backed up to the 36.
I don't know if I agreed with them kind of going to hurry up right there because they didn't have to. They had another timeout. They had 2 timeouts left, and now they were forced to really call one right there because now they're at the 35.
Second down and 14. Cochran, quick pass over the middle. That one's caught. 4 seconds to go, and a timeout is called. Ethan Sneed warming up on the sideline. He'll come out and try to kick the game-winning field goal. Let's see if he's able to do it.
It's a 43-yarder, well within his range. I'm assuming they have some wind blowing right here because of all the curveballs that have been going there. Left-footed kicker.
Good snap. Kick is on its way, going right, curving to the left, and it is good as time expires, and the defending champs defend their home turf with a Week 1 victory, 23-20. What a wild game. The men with no shirts are just excited as they could be. I don't know about that one, Gerald, but what a wild finish to Week 1's opening game.
Yeah, and Florida did it that way, their way on that last drive, and you know how they finished it off? They threw the ball where it was all kind of questioning what they were going to do, kind of take it easy. Hey, but they did what they did, and you don't win 4 championships by playing it safe. And what they did, they just, on that last drive, they threw the ball down there and got themselves in a situation to get there. And just when you thought they took themselves out of field goal range, they still had enough time to be able to get themselves back into field goal range with the timeouts they had and kick the game winner.
That was just such a wild game. Tonight's remaining games, Indianapolis hosting Atlanta, and Portland at Vancouver, will be 15-minute delay, 10:30 p.m. kickoff for the first one. Just as a programming note, opening weekend of Season 22 continues tomorrow as on SFL YouTube, headlined by the Louisiana Revolution visiting the DC Dragons, plus San Diego visiting the Houston Headhunters. Action starts at 6:30 p.m. Eastern right here and all weekend long on SFL YouTube. For the full weekend schedule, visit simulationfl.net. Next up for Charleston, they will take their home opener as they host Jacksonville on January 20th. Florida heads into the bye. They'll return and host Fort Worth. This has been a presentation of the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music. For Gerald Smith, Ron Haynes, Caleb Giffis, Cameron Irvine, and Matt Wilson, who will always be with us in spirit, I'm Mike Dykes. Thank you for joining us. Be kind to one another. Always choose happy. Enjoy the rest of Week 1.